Welcome, sir. Shall we start, sir? Madam. Good afternoon to you all. Now may I request Dr. Kanagalli Madam to deliver a welcome address. Please, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all. The most respected resource person, Dr. A. Narayanamurthy, sir, respected professor and head of the Department of Commerce, VC officiating committee member of syndicate, Dr. T.R. Gurumurthy, sir, my dear colleagues and dear participants, welcome to all. I have the great pleasure of introducing the resource person, Dr. A. Narayanamurthy, sir, professor and head, Department of Economics and Rural Development, Alagappa University. Academic qualifications, MA, MPhil, PhD, all in economics. Teaching experience, 25 years. Research experience, 25 years. Additional responsibilities, syndicate member, Alagappa University, member, planning board, Alagappa University, member, finance committee, Alagappa University, member, senate, Alagappa University, dean, faculty of arts, Alagappa University, member, standing committee, Alagappa University, member, research advisory committee, Alagappa University, chairman, board of studies, Department of Economics and Rural Development, Alagappa University. Areas of research, agricultural economics, benefit cost analysis of agricultural projects, economics of irrigations, water including micro irrigations, economics of GM crops, evaluations, studies in agricultural and rural economics, policy issues in agriculture, profitability in agriculture. I welcome Dr. A. Narayanamurthy, sir, to deliver his special lecture on writing research project proposal resource persons. I welcome you, sir.
Please, sir. Welcome, sir.
Can I start?
Sir, please, sir. Please start, sir.
I'll just open this. You are able to see the PPT?
Visible, sir.
Very good. So, good afternoon. I really thank Dr. Gurumurthy for inviting me to speak in this workshop. I also thank Dr. Vinay Murthy for sending the details about the workshop and different time periods. And I also thank Dr. Kanagalli for introducing me, partly. That was the old one, which you introduced. Anyway, thank you very much. I am a professor of economics. That's the only thing I can tell at this stage. So I'll be speaking about the writing research project proposals. Writing research proposal is not a great thing in my opinion. You are all, I understand that many mid-career researchers are also attending this workshop. If you are able to write a story well, any story of 2-3 pages, I think you should be able to write a proposal also well. See, for writing a story also, you need to generate an idea. And then you have to create characters, and then you'll have to move on and complete. Same thing. Very simply, I say all the researchers are brilliant. All the participants are brilliant. Only difference between the great researcher and the others is that the brain is same. Thinking is same, everything is same. The researchers, they take effort. That's the only difference. You see any great scholars work, biography or autobiography, Einstein says this, I have more curiosity, I don't have any special brain. Albert Einstein says this. So, and therefore I say that writing proposal is not a big deal. Only thing is, you need this. I call it as ISEC quality. ISEC is a famous institute for social sciences. So following that, I created these abbreviations. ISEC, generally, if you ask any social science students, they will say Institute for Social and Economic Change, which is located in Bangalore. Here for research, not only for writing proposal, I'm saying, for writing paper in a great journal, or if you want to become a big researcher, or if you want to become a good researcher and you want to become a known person, want to become a well-known scholar, you need this ISEC quality, nothing else. If anyone has this quality, you all have. I know. Everyone has this quality. Maybe one or two may be missing. Right? First thing is that involvement. What come may, I will do this work. Put effort. Taking seriously things, looking at this again and again. Searching the materials that is needed for the research. And then seriousness. Our PhD students are serious. Serious in showing their face. Serious in the sense, seriousness means, okay, I'm coming today. I have come here at 9 o'clock. I will be going at 6 o'clock. What is that I have done today? What is that I am going to do tomorrow? How will I do that? If you start thinking more and more, that is part of seriousness. What happens, I know many PhD students are there, they should not mistake me. First year when they join, they take it very seriously. And then 6 months, they will see here and there, then on the speed, initially they may have started with the first gear, second gear, third gear, and fourth gear, and then they will put a reverse gear and then go back. That should not happen. If that happens, we cannot write a good research proposal. That seriousness is very, very good. Effort. Writing proposal is not I said simple, but it will not come simply. I write sometime an article for newspaper like a Business Line or a Hindu or Financial Express. I write and complete in 3 hours sometime. Sometime I take 3 days also. The same Narayana Murthy. It will not come. Sometime the first line will not come at all. Because your first line is very, very important. First para is very, very important. It will not come. But we should not leave. My professor used to tell me, Narayana Murthy, if you want to become a researcher, learn to sit in a place continuously. Learn to sit in a place continuously, which means it will not come. You cannot write. You cannot. I am telling you, writing is an art. We are brilliant. I know everybody, I don't know, 64 people, participants are there. I could see from here. But all are brilliant. All are having same brain. In fact, you may be having more brain than me, better brain than me, better quality brain than me. But what happens? The effort. Some, I say, you ask any scholar who have performed well today, they say, I worked with Professor Vaidyanathan for some time at Madras Institute of Development Studies, immediately after completing my PhD. When I joined with him, he was 62. He came back from New Delhi after serving as a planning commission member. He was 62 or 63. He used to come at 8:30 and goes back at 7:30. He used to read, and in fact, I love to thank him. He's no more, just passed away some 6-7 months back. I learned the art of using secondary data when I was working at him. For writing proposal also, you will have to have a huge understanding about secondary data, because you will have to put your, the understanding clearly in the proposal. So effort is, it will not come, I'm telling you. But sit, you write, you rewrite, write, Rewrite, that is what effort. It's a donkey work, but we'll have to do, we have no other option. I'll tell you, there are scholars, great scholars, I don't want to name them today. Great scholars of our country, they write 3 drafts, 4 drafts. Not English problem. They are trying to write clearly what they are thinking actually. Sometimes it will not come in the first draft itself. Not like my professor. My professor Venkatesh Athreya used to write in a single draft. I have not seen a scholar like him. But anyway, he took training was great. IIT Madras, then he went to Wisconsin, where he completed MS in economics and PhD in economics from Wisconsin University in USA, a top class university in those years. Now also it is top 5. You see what kind of training he has taken. This is what he used to tell me. Now, I didn't read anything, all this in the methodology book. All this I learned from my own professor, Professor Venkatesh Athreya. He has a paper in top class journals. But he used to write in single draft without any mistake, because I used to type his article in those days. Right? Single. But otherwise, many people write 3 drafts, 4 drafts, because they wanted to put their understanding very clearly. Because you are writing proposal or article not for your own consumption. You are writing to a reader. Somebody is going to evaluate your this proposal. No? When he reads the first para, he should get impressed. I'm telling you. That's very, very important. So take effort. Effort is very, very important. We, unfortunately, I love to tell this. The effort is, it is coming like a demand curve now. In those days, effort used to be like a supply curve. It will go from left to right. Now what happens? It will become a demand curve. It is coming from left to right, downward slope. Not only from social sciences, not in everywhere. Effort, if you put time in x-axis, effort in y-axis, you will see 1990 effort, 1995 effort, 2000 effort, 2005 effort, 2010 effort, 15, 20 effort. It will come like a demand curve today. This is what is happening generally. I can tell you this, why I'm saying, in the 90s, we were getting so many papers from great journals from Tamil Nadu. I used to monitor when I was working in Gogol Institute of Pune. How many papers are coming from Tamil Nadu from social sciences? In those days, we used to see great papers in great journals, CPW, Indian Journal of Agricultural Economics, Indian Economic Review, Indian Journal of Labor Economics. There are umpteen number of very good journals in India. But today, you see, rarely you will see a paper from Tamil Nadu in a good journals from social sciences, which means our effort has gone down, demand curve. And then last point is curiosity, R1. Curiosity means once you have involvement, seriousness, effort, curiosity, that will come. This is, curiosity means I must do this. This is the word Albert Einstein has used. I will be showing his famous quote. His quote is that I have no special talent, but I am passionately curious. You see? His application was, when he applied for PhD to University of Bonn, Germany, his application was rejected. And later, he changed the science upside down. Great scientist. You all know that. He used this word curiosity. Just you Google it, you will see that. For doing research, he says, I don't need a great brain. And he himself admitted that I don't have big brain. I don't have any special talent. That is what he has used. Which means I am converting into our language. He doesn't have a special brain. But he had a curiosity. Curiosity means I must do something great. I must do something novel. I must do something pioneering. I must do something path-breaking work. I must do and publish that paper in a great. This is the curiosity. Once you have an effort, curiosity will come automatically. These are one way or other related. So these are the preconditions which I everywhere, wherever I go, to speak about methodology, speak about publishing paper, or identifying research problem, or anything on calculation, estimate. Anywhere I speak this one. If you want to become a great researcher, if you want to write a good proposal, if you want to write a good paper, and if you want to become a great researcher, we must develop these 4 characteristics. Okay, I'll move to the main part now. What is proposal? Today, unlike earlier, when we were doing PhD, we didn't have Google. To get even a meaning of a sentence, you used to run to library. Today, you need not to run anywhere. If you have a phone, Android, with good connection, you can do it immediately. The only thing is curiosity and effort. If you have a curiosity, if you have an effort, you can immediately write proposal, because it's there. It is a detailed account of the proposed research work. What is that you are planning to do? That's it. Don't complicate anything. Don't write any great thing and all. This is what I am planning to do. Simple. Small is beautiful. There is another argument in economics. Bigger is better. No. I follow Keynesian thinking. Keynes says that in the long run, we all will die. Think about short run, which means think about small. I'm not saying that you should not think about big. Yes, once we grow well, once we become a big researcher, no problem at all. You can think like anything, no problem. All right. But till then, think small and present it, that idea there, right? So it's a detailed account of a proposed research, whatever research you have. But have a small idea at this stage. Till you become a big, only have a small idea and then develop it with the supporting evidence after reading the literature. All right. So it is what is the plan of research, what you are planning to do. That's it. This is my idea. This is the plan. This is what I'm going to do. That's a proposal. In other way, people say it's a detailed roadmap of the research work proposed. See, when you apply for UGC, when you apply for ICSSR, many of you may have been applying, may have applied, may apply in the future also. Each one has a different kind of model. I will be speaking about that also. Some give a lot of, you can write in detail, maybe 5 pages. But if you apply for a small, if you apply for a donor, or if you apply for an international agency, or if you apply for a private agency projects, now, a lot of private, Ajin Premji Foundation is giving money. There are other foundations also giving money. They will say that, no, you don't need big. Write your proposal within 750 words. Even in ICSR, they have made it now. Earlier, we used to write 4 or 5 pages for submitting a proposal to ICSR. Today, they understood that we write anything. So they created a box everywhere. Introduction, this much box. It should not exceed 100 words. Your objective is 200 words. Like that, they have created a box. You see, the latest, they started some 2 years back this. Right? It's a detailed roadmap of research work. It's a broad idea of your research. See, in the proposal, you cannot specify everything that you are going to do. Understand? You are only presenting your broad idea. What is that you are going to estimate, whether you are going to use a discounted cash flow analysis or some other analysis, all that and all you can decide later. But here, the broad understanding, the broad objectives, the broad methodology only you are going to present, right? It is called concept note. when you apply for like maybe World Bank or IFPRI or UMI, International Water Management Institute, or International Food Policy Research Institute, or ICRISAT, or SANDI, or SAMI, or there are so many donors today at international level. They will say, submit a concept note within 500 to 750 words. You'll have to write it. You cannot write long. You'll have to think a lot. You'll have to put every idea of yours in a condensed form. 750 words, like writing an article to Business Line or something. They also say that you'll have to write your article within 1,000 words. So you'll have to, think. I'll tell you, all these models are available today. You just Google, you type there, model or proposal, you will have it. We didn't have that luxury, I can tell you. We didn't have that luxury. We used to go to MIDS. We used to go and talk to people there on those days. In those days, we used to meet Professor C.D. Priyan, Professor Vaidyanathan, Professor Gugan, Professor, Nirmal Sengupta. There were many great scholars there. We used to go and meet them and come back. Right? Now, just Google it, we can see. Understand, there is no permanent format for research proposal. Right? There is, like introduction, then review of literature, then objectives and hypotheses, then methodology, then study area, then deliverable, and then period of your study. All generally you will see, but sometimes it will not be there. It varies from one place to one place. ICSR may ask something, UGC may ask something, UMI may ask something, World Bank may ask something, SANDI may ask something. Right? But the format they give normally. This is the format we need. So you have to be prepared for that. So this is the general idea about the proposal. Again, what are the basic qualities that you need to write a good proposal? You need certain qualities. I'll tell you. Attitude is very important for writing good proposal. Attitude. Yes. One of my teachers, Professor Ayyambale, used to tell, Naranamurthy, in those days, I'm saying 89, 90, 90, 91 and all, when we were doing PhD. Professor Ayyambale used to tell Naranamurthy, if you want to be a researcher, good researcher, and you want to become a popular researcher, you be unsocial. You know what is unsocial? You have any idea about unsocial? Unsocial means, having big group, moving this side, that side, going for chai, going for coffee, going for cinema, going for marriage, going for this, that. So I had, sir, yesterday I could not come here, sir, because I had some work. What has happened? My relatives, 2-3 relatives, there were marriage function. Then the next day we had a temple function also in my village. I didn't have any other option, and therefore I attended. No. And if you do that, that is what unsocial. It will go, instead of 3 years, you will be completing your PhD in 5th year only, and then you will blame your kid. Yes, I know many of the students. You can ask this question after completing. If you have any questions on my lecture, you ask me after completing my thing. This point you can ask me. After 3 years, we become social, time will pass like anything. And if you become unsocial, you will do the work very carefully. And you will follow the proposal well, and you can complete your PhD also quickly. Right? So attitude is very important. These are the prerequisites I normally say to write a good proposal. Understand your own strength and limitations. You only know your strength and limitation. See, if somebody is coming, even if they give $1 lakh US, ask me to do work on inflation today, I will not say yes. I will say thank you very much. I cannot take it. Because inflation, I did, I think after MPhil, I didn't study anything about inflation. I'm working on water now. I am working on farm economics. I am working on policy matters. Right? You are able to hear me?
Sir, visible, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Somebody
Yes,
will have to
sir.
say yes or no. Okay. So understand your strength and limitation. You only know your strength and limitation. Nobody can tell. I only know my limitation. I went out on my browser initially that I'm going to study the interest rate and inflation. You will not believe. I worked with 6 months. I wrote a proposal. Initially, interest rate and inflation. I remember I used to laugh nowadays whenever I sit alone. I don't know what I thinking I had that time. If I had taken that proposal, I would have gone somewhere. I don't know, because doing that kind of work from Bharatans University was really very, very difficult. My professor told me, Naranamurthy, understand one thing. You are from rural areas. Understand this. That is my limitation. Understand your strength. I know rural economics well. Water I know well. Whatever you study, you will have to apply now. Understand your strength. Understand your limitation also, which is very, very, very important when you write a proposal. Identify an area in which you are familiar with. You have some familiarity. Everyone. I like idli. Somebody may like dosa. Somebody may like, what is that, parota. Somebody may like chapati. Somebody may like fulka. It is like that only. Each one, like a food, we also have a liking, disliking, research. So you have your familiarity in certain area. Everyone. When somebody comes to me, I'll ask, what is your interest? I tell my students that go and think, come to me after 15 days, 1 month and ask. Sometimes some students come back, some students do not come back because they think that I will ask them to work more. They will not come back. Some will come back. Then we discuss, we see. This is how we'll have to write a proposal. They write. It may not be good. I tell them, please refer the paper from Economic and Political Weekly by C.H. Hanumanth Rao of 1982. They will refer, they will write, and then they will come back. I tell them to use again Dhawan work of 1987, which appeared in Indian Economic Review. I say, they refer, write, and finally, after 3 months or 2 months, they get a relatively better proposal. Relatively better proposal. That much only they can do at this PhD level, at the entry level. If I write that kind of proposal only, you'll have to question me. But PhD level, because they are all new entrants, they can write that much only. But tell them to take effort. Ask them to read it again and again. They will do it. My students, you come and ask them how many economic and political papers they read. How many papers from Indian Journal of Agricultural Economics there? I tell at least 10 important journals, nationally and international: food policy, water policy, International Journal of Water Resource Development, Water International, American Economic Review, American Journal of Agricultural Economics, Indian Journal of Agricultural Economics, Economic and Political Weekly. I tell all my students, you ask, they will be able to tell you all this. They read. At least they say that they pretend to tell, that they have, they pretend at least that they have read this. So you work on your familiar area, collect articles from good journals. I'm saying, please, this is very, very important for writing a proposal. Read as much as possible. Don't rush. Somebody, my friend has done it. He joined yesterday. He has done it. This. Don't worry. A friend and you are not same. My friends are doing excellent work in Delhi. What can I do? They have facilities. They may be better, surrounding. Surrounding is also very important. Environment, we say. I cannot compare my work with JNU fellows or Delhi fellows because they different. Everyone is different. Read all the relevant articles. I'm saying, if you want to write a good proposal, I'm telling you, once you decided to work on a title, at least 3 months you read. Sir, why are you saying 3 months? I want to complete my PhD in 2 months. Okay, 2 years. You complete? Oh, you will not get a job. Because they will ask what is the life cycle hypothesis. Once you go for interview, If you have done work on life cycle hypothesis, they will ask what is life cycle hypothesis. You would not have read it. And they will say, thank you very much, take your tea and go. When we write a proposal, and through that proposal, we must be able to generate output, quantifiable, tangible, quality. Somebody must read, cite. And therefore, read. See, I'll tell you, if you want to become a researcher, read only. You will become a researcher. I'm reading every day. I follow a few journals on a continuous basis. Even if I don't get the time during my weekdays, I will see the first introduction and the last conclusion, the model methodology. It's not a very big thing. It's not a big deal. Just 1 hour. And therefore, read, collect all articles. If anybody wants to do research on water or something, if you need any article of any journal, you can come to me. I'll give you within half an hour from my computer, or I'll give it to you from the source. Read as much. Read all the relevant literature thoroughly. Read. I'll tell you, it's like a depositing your money. As and when you get money, put in a bank. Like that. When you need, you can take and use it. So read all the relevant literature thoroughly. I'll ask you, if you have a problem, consult others. Nothing wrong. I think I see this younger generation is not willing to discuss with others for 2 reasons. One is they have a fear. Another one is they think that somebody will steal their ideas. No, nobody can steal your ideas. Nobody can steal your ideas. I'm telling you, right? So you discuss with others. Read. If you have understanding problem, try to people who can solve your problem. Like your doctors. When you have a problem, you tell, no, yes, I have a headache, sir. And as and when I read any literature, I get more headaches, sir. The moment I touch a book, I get more headaches, sir. Oh, then you have a serious problem. You do not want to read. Director will tell, the doctor will tell. Like that, when you have a problem, when you are not able to understand something, please discuss with your teachers or with the expert. I will not say teacher, with the expert. Understand the methodological questions well, because I'll tell you one thing, because I review a lot of proposals for different agencies. Introduction, literature, methodology are key. Based on those 3 things only, your proposal will be accepted, will be taken for further processing. That's very important. Put the methodology in a strong way. Read, you'll get idea. But don't borrow models. Many of my friends, they borrow model from American Economic Review and use the same model in the estimate. No. You construct your own model. What is that? We are brilliant. Why should you follow a model from American? You use our own model. Know about the sampling procedure. Somebody is speaking. All right. Know about sampling procedure. That's very, very important. These are a part of methodology. So you will have to have introduction. Then you will have to have literature. I have talked about literature. Then you will have to have your methodology. Within that, you are sampling. Sampling is also very important. That you can change it also. But you provide a kind of convincing sampling, actually, in the sense this is what I'm planning, but I may change it. Everybody, every agency, every donor allows you to change your methodology. Eh? No, once you submit and accepted your proposal, don't think that you cannot change the methodology. No. I worked with the different agencies. They allow you to change your methodology if you give a correct justifications, right? Put good methodology questions, sampling, discuss with experts. I told you earlier, that's very, very important. expert in relevant areas. Initially, you discuss. After some time, maybe after 5 years, other people will come and discuss with you, and you will become expert. And you, if you want to become an expert, you need to do all these things. Read model proposals available already before writing proposal. Because in the methodology syllabus, we don't teach writing proposals in a very systematic way. Really, I have not seen any methodology syllabus used in different universities. Writing about proposal is taught in a serious way. It is like like it may be there in writing or I don't know where it figures. Explicitly, you will not see writing proposal. We write writing report, writing abstract, writing footnote. All these things we have. Report writing, there is a unit, but we don't have anything specifically for proposal. That's very, very important, actually. That's very important because when you join for PhD, you need a proposal. When you write a paper, you need to have a kind of proposal. When you want to apply for somewhere, you need a proposal. And in fact, when you apply for something somewhere or a job and all, no, they are also asking you a proposal. You know that? Nowadays, they'll ask you to say what you will do in case we select you here for the next 5 years. You know that? Many institutions are asking, next to 5 years, what is your work plan in case we select you? It is like almost a proposal, not exactly a proposal. This is what you will have to do. All this. There is one website, you just go there and see, Sandy Online, that they give good money for your good proposal. You go see there, sandyonline.org. There you can see a lot of model projects, very good projects. They are very serious fellows. They give you training also. They may call you to different countries, Sri Lanka or Nepal or Burma or Malaysia or Singapore. They conduct a workshop, pre-approval proposal, pre-proposal workshop or something. They give a training and all. You can go, you can attend. When you write a good proposal, when your proposal is good, they will call you. Otherwise, they will not call you. Thank you very much, they'll say, right? So these are the things needed for writing a proposal. I didn't explain still how to write a proposal. So what, this is the crucial, this is the general format that normally is followed. What should research proposal contain? Right? What it should contain? What it, all the, the variables, parameters, right? There must be a title page. Yes. I'm saying in a conventional way. It need not be in some places, but title must be there. Title, you write like a para. No. Don't write a big para. Title is small. Nowadays, even if you see some journals, they restrict that your title should be within this many characters. Okay. Character means your letter, like R, A, R, E, 3 characters. So they say that you should not exceed 30 characters. Some people write a title. The title itself, if you look at the PhD thesis, title itself covers a half page. See, the olden days, we used to have a name like Narayana Murthy, Vinayaka Murthy, Guru Murthy, Sundaram Murthy. There may be many other Murthis. Do you see any name like this nowadays? Narayana Murthy become Narayan. Sundaram Murthy becomes Sundar. All become, in short, similar way you think title should be simple, but it must be very, very attractive and should explain what the proposal contains. The moment you read the title, the reviewer should come to know, yes, this is what this results, this title is speaking. That is the real title. Introduction must have a clear focus. What is that? If you are writing inflation, quote famous fellows. Famous fellows, Milton Friedman, Irving Fisher, original Keynes, right? So that they will come to know that we have read all this. when you write Milton Friedman, because he is the father of monetary economics, in my opinion. He was nobler, right? When we talk about money supply or empty, we cannot ignore Irving Fisher, the famous equation, MV is equal to PT. Huh? We must go to that, because the reviewer will see whether this fellow has read all these things or not. Quote big authors and quote the latest authors also, latest paper also, which means this fellow is good in foundation and also he is up to date in knowledge. It should be there. Research gap. When you write your, you may be writing one page introduction, then you there, within that one page, you will have to reflect your clear focus that this is what Sundaramurthy has done, this is what Gupta has done, this is what he has used in this model, the other fellow has the other model. There are problems in the specifications, there are problems in the estimations, there are problems in the coverage of, the period of analysis. There are problems in the results itself, and therefore I wanted to revisit and do by taking data from this to this, and this is the thing that I am going to do. This is what exactly you'll have to tell. That is the research gap. So many people have done on this, but nobody has done a work on relating money supply with interest rate. I'm giving an example, but empty number of papers are done in this area, right? Okay. So research gap clearly you say, because some people say that yes, this is, otherwise, I'll tell you, economics of paddy cultivation. 1 lakh thesis you will see in India. Economics of paddy cultivation in Punjab, economics of paddy cultivation in Andhra, economics of paddy cultivation in Sivagangai, economics of paddy cultivation in Karaikudi, economics of paddy cultivation in Delhi. There is no paddy there in Delhi, but still people write. Economics of paddy cultivation in Himachal. Why? What is there in it? And you will be like a old Italy only. No, nobody will recognize you. Oh, paddy, what is that paddy? Okay, thank you. You will have to do something new within paddy. You will have to do that. I am working on hybrid paddy. And I understand a few days back, somebody near Madurai has cultivated basmati rice in Tamil Nadu, which is impossible in our climate. He is going to harvest. Go and study there. Your basmati cultivation, basmati rice cultivation in Tamil Nadu, unimaginable. Okay. So you think in that way. So something, new. Nobody should have done that. Objectives. I see many proposals. Objectives are looking like a para. Why do you make a para? Say in one line, to study the pattern of, water supply in Karaikudi district, to study the price and consumption behavior of domestic water supply in Tanjavur district. Instead, people write a para and all you write there in introduction and other objective should be very lucid, clean, simple, not big paragraph. Hypothesis. Sometimes people, because hypothesis is very important, because testable hypothesis. There also I have seen many people in PhD thesis. I have seen they read a para. Or hypothesis, when you give a para, you can't test it. Hypothesis should be testable. Male wage rate is higher than female wage rate in farm works. You can test it easily. You need one XBAR 1, XBAR 2, standard deviation 1, standard deviation 2, N1, N2. That's it. You can give immediately whether you are accepting your mu is equal to mu1 is equal to mu 0 is equal to mu1 or mu is lesser than mu1. Simple. You can test and tell. When you write a para, you cannot test. And in many cases, many reviewers also, when you write your thesis, they will see whether the thesis, whether the hypothesis is tested or not. They will write that he has mentioned the 3-4 hypotheses, but it was not tested. I couldn't see anywhere there. Because we are confused. We write paras. Hypothesis should be testable. Study area, you'll have to give in a small way that this is what my study area, whole of India, from this period to this period. Sampling design also very, very important. That's very, very important. That what is the sample that in case you are going for primary data. If you are not going for primary data, if you are going to use secondary data, where from you are going to get the massive secondary data, from which period to which period, all you'll have to specify. That is what I study area. Study area, India, covering different states. Recently, yesterday I wrote a small thing where I'm planning to study about 15 major states. So I'm writing 15 major states from 1960-61 to 1920-21, 2020-21. Right? Clearly you tell this is the period that I'm going to cover. But before mentioning that, you look at whether the data is available there or not. Simply don't write. You'll get into a problem. Sampling design and model. In fact, if you are going to use some model like, estimating BCR, or if you are planning to use some kind of, panel data model, or some kind of multiple regression model, whatever, you specify clearly that this is what I'm going to do because I don't get time series data, and therefore I'm planning to use panel data from this period to this period. My panel is like this, and I am planning to use eView for this estimation. If you say you are giving answer convincingly, that is what the reviewer will be expecting. Deliverable, I don't know, because you have PhD students and also the faculty members. When you write a proposal for any agency, they will ask the deliverable. What is that you will give if I give money for you? Naturally, if I apply for a project to a donor, the donor will expect that what is that I will give. That is a deliverable. Deliverable means what? Papers. Paper in high quality. I normally promise when I take a project of 10 lakh rupee, I will give 2 papers in a very good journal. It may be from, Blackwell, or it may be from Routledge, or it may be from Springer, or it may be from top class Indian journal. Right? I promise, I deliver. Right? So if you deliver like that, that you'll have to mention. This is what I plan to do. I am going to publish paper in this journal. This is what I'm going to do. That is also is needed. And finally, you'll have to give a financial budget, which nowadays many like ICSR gives model budgeting. So you can just fill your everything and then you can submit. So by and large, your proposal must contain all this. I'm not saying that you will see all this in every proposal. If you check any proposal in the Google, right, or in Sandy, you may not see everything. But this is what the overall structure of the proposal. So this is the old thing I had put. The title page should be like this. Title page should be simple, not too long. Right? Right? Simple. Even the title which I have given now, it looks a bit large at this stage. Right? It's small. There are ways, and you can reduce it, but effort is needed. If you sit, think more, you will be able to condense it. You will be able to shorten it. You will be able to reduce it. Must convey the focus of the study. What is it? What is it it's going to focus? That should reflect. Like, when somebody says, there is a, when title should speak on its own. That's it. Title should speak on its own. This is a joke actually. But if I get the time, I will come back to that joke. You remember me when you ask questions. I will tell you this. What is that? Why should I speak? That the title itself is speaking. This is a big joke. It happened in Karnal. There is one India Karnal in Haryana. When a PhD bio examination was done, this joke came. I'll tell you because I love to cover the other things. I'll come back to you if I get time on that. Agency where it is to be submitted should be mentioned there in the cover page. Author's address at the bottom of the page should be there. This is the general again. Nowadays, if you are submitting everything by electronic form, This will not be there. I say, sir is not asking anything in your printed form. They are asking throw all your thing in the electronic form only, right? So this may be generally if you apply in a hard form, maybe after lockdown, after Corona is over, they may ask us to submit everything by hard copy. In that case, you'll have to have this button. Okay. Now coming to this is that I really will have to say that introduction. Introduction is very important for proposal. I'm telling you. I told you initially, I review papers, I review proposals for different agencies. The moment I read the first para, I will decide whether I should read the second para or not. I'm not boosting myself. I am saying this is what all intelligent researchers do. You check it. You go and check anyway with anyone, any serious scholar. This is what Narayana Murthy is saying. Do you agree with this? In case you have a problem, come back to me. We will discuss. I'm there. I'll be there. My mail is there. All right. So your introduction should be very, and the first para now, take time. When I write paper, I write, think more. I learned from others only. I learned from EPW. I learned from American Journal of Faculty of Economics. I learned from Indian Journal of Faculty of Economics. The great paper, those days, great paper used to appear in IJ, Indian Journal of Faculty of Economics. Great paper used to appear in Economic and Political. Now, quality has deteriorated. That's a different issue. All over. Not only in social sciences, everywhere quality has deteriorated. I can come and argue with anyone on this. So title is very important. Title should the introduction should speak part of proposal. Yeah, that reviewer should say, "Amma, what it is good. I cannot reject this proposal." That kind of thinking the reviewer should get. Reflect from macro to micro picture. Don't deviate from the fact. Some people cut and paste here and there and you will not see any link. Cut and paste is one, but that para you can replace it, no? When you cut and paste, you replace it, create link. If you cut and paste today, anybody can catch you also, because on the other day I saw a thesis. Somebody has written that it has a 48% of plagiarism, not from my university, from different university. Yes. So some universities are using advanced plagiarism software to test their skill. 48%, unbelievable, So you don't deviate from the, if you are focus, create a link. The next one is reviewer should be able to understand the focus of the study by studying the introduction. The introduction will, you should be satisfied. What I do that. I am not a great researcher, but I do this. I do this because I learned from my predecessors, my seniors at Google Institute and Delhi, JNU. My professor is a great scholar. You will read first para, you will throw. Because first para is not speaking well means what? Take effort to write a very good para, first para. Hit on the focus of the study. This is what the study is going to analyze using this method, dumb. Then blah, 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 you write. Because the first para, people read it very seriously. After that, because every researcher, every reviewer, they have their own style of reviewing also, but time also is there. So the first para, then they will say methodology, they will say hypothesis, that the methodology. Okay, very good, accepted. So write your first para very well. You can also include a few points of literature, because literature, first you will have to write in the introduction itself, you will have to accommodate all the literature, because there is no space for literature separately in any proposal. So in each line, in each sentence, very big authors reference. Very big author. If you are going to write a author, you must write, it must figure B.D. Dhawan. It must figure Ratnarati. It must figure C.H. Hanumantarao. It must figure Dinesh Kumar. It must figure Tushar Shah. It must figure V.S. Vyas. It must figure V.M. Rao. Natkar. Which means the reviewer will understand, yes, this man has studied all the good work. Do it. The issues means the problems. It also be reflected there. Anyway, when you write the first the first introduction, now, in the last para of the introduction, when you write introduction, water is great, water makes this much impact, and then the many studies are there, and then you write, oh, many studies are there. These studies have this limitations, this study has this problem, this has a methodological problem, this has not studied up to the latest year, and therefore, just before your objectives, you must say that. That is what clear introduction. You see, any paper you go and see today, you just go and read any paper in economic and political weekly, it's available, it's open. Just to type epw.in, you can see. You may not be able to download, but you will be able to see that. And in case you need any paper on EPW, you just write me. Right from the day 1952 till date, I will provide to you. They have archives also. You can pay and you can download. Not a big cost. Right? Mention that in the introduction, because introduction is a key for your proposal. Review of literature. This is, and the writings, this I have put specifically for PhD students, because they write a separate chapter for review of literature. Although we are talking about research proposal in the sense you can include PhD thesis also, and therefore I have kept a separate, slide for review of literature. It's very, very important. I'll tell you. If I told you earlier also, if you want to become a researcher, good researcher, big researcher, your name should be cited anywhere. You should be referred anywhere. You should be invited anywhere. You should be called for discussion. You should be called for a workshop. You should be for anything. If you are good in literature, they will be inviting you. I'm telling you. You should be good in literature. You will be definitely writing paper in a very good journal, because you have a strong foot in literature. You know what has done, who has done what. Will you check with anybody and come back to me whether I'm correct or not? Read as many literature as possible. Go from old to new. Start from 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 2020. 1. Which means they will say this fellow has gone back up to 60 and he's up to now. What a fellow he is. Must be supported. They will say this, the reviewer. This will help the understanding the existing research. And when you read more, you will come to know what is not done, what is done. So you can defend your proposal also. That is what research can. What is not done, you will have to highlight in your own area. Now you have chosen your title and all. Now we are talking about, we are midway now writing proposal. Read strong literature published in good journals. I say this. Social sciences people, there's one journal, Economic and Political Weekly, in which you can, I got a job at Google because of EPW paper. I got a promotion also very quickly because of EPW paper. I got a job at MADs because of Indian Journal of Agricultural Economics. I got a job at Google because of Indian Journal of Agricultural Economics. I love to tell this. You know one thing? In those days, we used to get a lot of fellows from America also, American PhDs. They used to speak very well, much better than me. In those days, I used to speak in a nonsense way. People used to spit on me. But paper only helped me to get a job in big institute. You ask anybody? I can tell some of my friends actually, you just go and ask them. Paper will take you anywhere. Papers will give you anything that you need. You need not to write a proposal if you have papers. Money will come to you automatically. They will call you, "Arey, Narayana Murthy, come, take this money and go, complete this project, give 2 papers." Which is possible only through reading wide literature. Strong literature, I say. Don't read the pirated, this old, predated, paid journals and all, which means we are cheating ourselves. We will not accumulate knowledge. Yes, read. I'll tell you, you will be very popular if you read good journals. You will write very good papers after reading good journals. Somebody will write, some great fellow will cite your work. You will be happy the whole day. You will come to know who is citing your paper and all. And also read relevant committee reports. For each subject, there are committee reports like money, like irrigation, like poverty, like environment, like money supply, like the inflation. For everything, there is a committee reports. You can see committee reports. One advantage you have there is that it will give a lot of information because it's the bulky. You will see the history also. Why this has happened, what happened in British time, what is the evolution in that subject. All you'll get in one go when you read a committee report. That also you read when you want to add good literature. Your familiarity with the available literature should come out in presenting and writing. When you write, they will come to know your familiarity, whether you are good or not. When you write a predatory journal, paid journal, they will decide. They will decide, no, sorry, literature is not strong. And we will also not grow, I'll tell you. We will not really, it may, like, I am saying something beyond my idea, but I'll tell you, if we go on reading these predatory journals, we will not learn anything. Because after all, we read anything to learn. The methodology will not learn. Writing style we will not learn. How to cite a paper we will not learn. How to put references we will not learn. How to construct a table we will not know. How to put a table footnote under the table we will not learn. If you don't read good papers. But if you read, I'll tell you, you just read 1 or 2 EPW paper today, if you get time, or maybe in another 1 month. You will see real research. Of course, the quality of EPW has gone down. Terribly has gone down. Yes, I can speak this. Terribly has gone down, but still, it's one of the best journals in the world in social sciences. Quality has deteriorated. Read 2-3 papers to read in a month, and you will see it's like putting fertilizer for crop. When you put urea, paddy will smile. Next day you see paddy, it will be in green color. Similar way, you read EPW articles. Your knowledge will be like anything. Check. Come back to me. We will discuss. I have no problem. Say clearly what is not studied in a selected theme. That is what research gap. When you read all this, you'll come to know what is not studied. I told you already, explained also. Include a brief survey of literature, which is very important. The proposal, you will write 1 para only about literature. This is what he has done. This is what he has done. You'll have to write a synthesis, not like individual literature. Synthesis means, quite a few scholars have studied the relationship between inflation and money supply. Dumb, in bracket, put 4 authors. That is what synthesis. Instead of writing, Gupta has analyzed this and used this econometric model and found this, that and all you can write in thesis. But when you write for proposal, you have only 3 pages or 1000 words page limit or 1 page concept note. There is no space. You will have to be very, very, focused. So literature is over. research gap, I told you, this is very important. It should come. We don't write separately as title, research gap title in the proposal, but it should be just before your objectives, the last para of the introduction. Last para of the introduction, just before your objective, normally we spell out the research gap. Research gap is not, it's nothing. What is not done so far? In a simple way, in a crude way, if you ask me, I would say, what is not done so far in your area of research is called research gap. This is derived from the literature review. When you read more and more literature, I told you, literature is keeper for anything. If you want to become a researcher, read. That's the only thing I say. And everything you can learn. You don't need any guide or anything. You don't need people like Narayana Murthy speaking to you. You can give an idea for many people. Or you go and read this SP Gupta paper, you will say. And you go and read Dhawan paper, you will say. It has everything. Right? Highlight what is studied and what is not. I told you, this is what is studied. This is also studied. Some people have studied recently this, but there are deficiencies. Deficiency number 1. Number 2, methodology problem. Number 3, estimation problem. Number 2, there is a growth estimate, which also has certain deviation from reality. And therefore, this proposal, therefore, we or I plan to work on this with the following objectives. In a thesis, you may write a para or one para, one page, which is not possible in the proposal. Mention the specification problem. I told you, that model, when you are using a long model, big model, multiple regression or panel data or any other method, you say that there are problems. Fundamentally, there is a problem. Very clearly, you say that if you are very good, if you can defend your idea, your idea, do it. Nothing wrong in it, because after all, you will be facing the committee. There you can defend. Yes, this is the problem with the specification, and therefore, and you can tell that when you go for that that interview for your proposal interview, you can say that this is the specification that they have mentioned. This is the problem, sir. It should be like this. They missed this. Like that you can tell. When you say, they will salute you. If not openly. Great. Subramaniam. Proposal is wonderful. Some people openly say. Talk to the expert in the selected area. After writing proposal, you please circulate with your expert. Nothing, nobody will steal. This is the phobia we have. Phobia, we fear for anything. Don't worry, nobody can steal our ideas. Everyone has a different kind of ideas. And even if they steal your idea, what will happen? Okay, now you are doing like I told you, economics of paddy cultivation in Tamil Nadu, and same work somebody will do in Punjab. Same. Will you say that he has stolen your idea? No way. Right? Talk to the expert. For writing, I'll tell you proposal. If you ask me, I will tell all the people, please read literature. Please read the literature. You know one thing? I'll tell you one more thing which many people may not say. A paper, if you look at a paper, serious paper, introduction to methodology, that itself is a proposal. If you write in a future sentence. You got it? Any paper, good quality paper, introduction to methodology will be there, some 100 pages printed. That is a proposal. And if you can convert that into future, and you will have to add 1 or 2 methodology changes only. Yes, exactly. You check now. Go and check today. Right? And then objective should be there. Objective should be very clear, because this is the 3rd stage. I think we have completed introduction, then we have literature, then we are moving to objectives. Research gap also we have covered. Objectives are very important. Objectives, aim of the study, clear, simple, lucid, clear, very specific. No para. No para at all. No para at all. I'm saying again, no para at all. I'm seeing many paras nowadays. Objectives, you can't have a paras. Too many objectives spoil the research. I recently went for a Viva's examination to a university, which I do not want to disclose. He had given 13 objectives and asked him, "Arey, great. You had given 13 objectives. What for you had given 13 participants?" Okay. Right? 13 objectives that the student replied to me, "Sir, somebody told me that more objectives means thesis is very good. You see, more sample means this is very good." This is the idea that here. Are who taught this? Your methodology tells that larger sample, smaller sample will not do anything on your result. It is sampling procedure is decided based on the sampling, the structure of the population. If you have a heterogeneity, take more sample in a population. If your population has more heterogeneity, take more sample. If your population is homogeneous, this is what methodology teaches us. Somebody had taken 4,500 sample. NSSO for whole of India that takes 7,500 sample. For whole of India, NSSO takes 7,500 or 10,000, and based on that they make policy decision whether to implement the MG and REHs or not. They are taking decision based on 10,000 sample. And for your PhD, you take 4,000, 3,000 sample. Why? Waste of money, waste of time, waste of cost, waste of everything. And you will get your result also will be poor. Your R-squared will not be very significant when you have this many sample and all. You have many outliers. Yes. Don't go for like that. Include the objectives that can be studied only. Don't include objectives for only for what is that like Garland. No. Whether if you can study, include, otherwise leave. One objective will be enough sometime. Only one objective, only one hypothesis. Yes, I'll show you many great works with one objective. Yeah, I love to quote our, the great fellow. I often say this. You know this, you are able to see this one? John Nash. He got a Nobel Prize for game theory. His thesis size was, you know how much? His thesis was, anybody knows about the size of this thesis? I will give you a gift for you if you can answer correctly. Okay, we will discuss. Nash, no, 25 pages not correct, 40 pages are also not correct. Okay, okay. So you don't write that, bigger thesis means bigger quality, better quality, large sample means very good quality. What like this? Which means we have not studied methodology properly. My professor used to tell me this. I have referred a very good methodology book. Nowhere it mentioned that a larger sample will give larger, better result. No way, no way, no way. Consider your time availability, resource availability, data availability, your ability before framing objectives. Your ability is also very, very important when you are fixing objectives. All right. Hypothesis, just to opposite to your testable thing. When you say to study the to study the difference between male and female wage rate in agriculture, that is the objective. And you convert that objectives into a hypothesis, it should be like this. Male wage rate is significantly higher than female wage rate. That's it. Your objectives, if you change in a testable form, that is hypothesis. Right now? No, 27 pages. No, Rajesh. No, very high. Anyway, now, okay, we will discuss. It controls the study. That's hypothesis, very, very important. Put it very clearly. Data, it tells you what data you need. statistically testable. It's very, very important. Include only testable hypothesis. If you leave it without testing, then referee will question you. That he has mentioned 4 objectives, but he has tested 1, remaining 2 he didn't attended. Right? Don't. If, I will not take a hypothesis. I will do work only with objectives also. Why? I don't need objectives. If I am very clear with my, I don't need a hypothesis. If I am very, very clear with my objectives, I don't want to test my hypothesis. Why? No need. No methodology says that you must have both objectives and hypothesis. You can have a hypothesis and run. That this is what I am going to test in my work. Okay, go. So study area, you will have to mention the study area very clearly. What is that study area? If it is a primary study area, you say that this is Tamil Nadu. Within that, 4 districts will be selected. This, you will have to tell why Tamil Nadu is selected, why 4 districts are going to be selected. All you will have to convincingly. You cannot say that because I am living in Karaikudi and therefore I selected Shivagam district. No way. That is not scientific research. Correct, na? And when you do secondary data will give you a lot of understanding. Secondary data analysis proposals, you can write quickly also without spending much of money. I do a lot of secondary data research because now I can't move to field and all. And getting data from field is also very, very difficult. My students are unable to collect the data for the last 2 years because of Corona. So I told them to do work more on macro level data, right? Going and collecting data from very. But macro data, huge amount of data is available. If anybody is interested or not getting data on agriculture related, water, agriculture, farm income, fertilizer, seed, prices, come to me. I'll tell you where the data is available. Data is available. We are not using huge data is available from 1952 till date. I use them. When you do macro level analysis, you will understand what is really happening. When you do micro level analysis, you do only understand what is that happening in Pulikanmai. Right? Right? Why? Do big level research, you will understand. So many understand. Some of my students have completed PhD in purely using macro level data, right? Must provide justification for selecting specific village or district. That is what I told you earlier also, right? Methodology, it should include a method to be employed for the study. What method you are going to employ? Data coverage, if macro level data, put the reference period correctly. Sampling procedure, yes, very clearly you specify. That's very, very important. But you cannot specify everything in the proposal. But to specify, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for, what is snowball sampling because of this reason. Okay. But snowball sampling you cannot use everywhere. They will ask, why are you going for snowball? Is nowhere related to snowball sampling. They will say, your title, your work, your objective, they will say. And therefore, when you employ a sampling technique, you tell very clearly, this is most opt sampling technique for this study, and therefore I have chosen this. Say this. Other tools, nowadays, I'll tell you, however you are, in theory or anything, people are expecting some statistical analysis, be it a proposal or anything, right? So you say some, if you are going to do, investment projects and all, use a discounted cash flow analysis, compute IRR, NPV, and DCR and all, because it will speak, that will tell you. Within that you can play around, okay? And the study period should be included there. So methodology should be very, very clear. I told you right from the beginning, I'm speaking about this only. Introduction, literature, methodology. Introduction, literature, methodology. These 3 are key, right? Deliverables, I told you, PhD students, their deliverable is PhD. So they can think, they cannot go beyond this level. But if you are taking a project, I know that the professors are there, associate professors are there, assistant professors are there in the participation list. In that case, you have to generate output. ICSR may not demand what you are going to give and all. UGC will not demand. But if you are going to ask, money from other agencies like Asim Premji or NABARD or many other agencies, donors, many are there in India today, and they will ask what is that you are going to give, because they need something which can be useful, which they can use for their own work also, right? And at least you should add something to the literature, existing literature. So dissemination of knowledge is ultimate aim of the study art project, because we are all knowledge creator. Knowledge creator. What the project will generate, you'll have to tell very clearly. Number of papers to be published, where are you going to publish, what is the quality of the journal, mention that I'm planning to publish paper in economic and politics. So that you can work seriously. Once you reach the target, then you will work seriously. Yes, you will generate curiosity. Presentation of papers presented in different places is also very, very important. This is what the budget. At the end, you'll have to give a budget also. The budget model generally like this, we follow for donors. Donors ask like this, only your manpower, and then machines, tools, field work cost, then expenses for your field work, and then your contingency, then your institutional intellectual fee, which is a consultancy fee, and then your overhead cost. This is how I'm saying, but you can also check, it varies from one donors to donors. You can check there, and then you can decide. So the benefits of good proposal, this will be my last but one proposal, one slide. See, you're able to read this? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So when this is what exactly you will have. When you have a very good proposal, these are the things you can reach the destination hassle-free. When you want to reach Madurai, your planning is good. When your roadmap is good, roadmap is proposal. Okay, you will reach without asking anyone. Use Google. Oh, reach destination. That's it. Okay, you can complete the study in time. Many students, they plan to complete a PhD in 3 years, but they complete after 7 years, and in between, big quarrel will be there between guide and student. This all happens because of poor quality proposals. They write something without thinking about data. They write anything without thinking about data availability, and when they start working, data may not be there. I have seen this in different places. I'm not talking about my university. All my experience I'm giving from the places where I worked earlier. All these experiences, and from my own experience, not from my own university. Now, the university where I'm working now. Some people have taken 10 years at Kokale, Pune, for completing PhD. Cry in the evening time when we go for chai to Rupali, people come and talk. Narayanamurthy, professor, help us, professor. Dr. Narayanamurthy. See, 8-9 years are over. Killing. My guide is killing, like that people say. Who is killing? Whose problem it is? It is your problem. Why did you write a proposal like this first? There may be a problem from guides also. I will not say no. And finally, what student will say, sir, my guide is killing, sir. It all happens, the quarrel happens, the conflict happens because of poor proposal writing. When your proposal is really good enough, I'll tell you, oh, 3 years are over, PhD. Oh, sir, your student has completed, 3 years over, 3.5 years over, with 3 papers in all top class channels. Thank you very much. Very easy. They are all here only. They don't want to go back, go to other state. Nobody wants to go to other state for working. This is what is happening. Many students are there. I wanted to be in Tamil Nadu only. I wanted to be only in Sivangai district. This is the attitude we have. Or will reduce your stress. Will reduce stress for both you and your guide. This is what is a lot of conflict. In those days we used to see when we were doing PhD. Student and the teacher, the guide, they don't speak each other. They don't see even their face each other for some time. And some mediation used to take place in those days. Right? All happens not because of quarrel, because of your guide and the student. No, it's the problem is proposal. Can get funding from different. If you are a good proposal, I'll tell you, I can guarantee you, if you write good proposal, you tell me. Yes, I'll tell you where the funding is available. People are waiting for good proposals. People are waiting for proposal with good papers. Yes, it's true. You check with any good scholar. You talk to a scholar at Bombay or Pune or Hyderabad, Bangalore, any serious fellows, IIMs, IITs, serious people I'm saying. They will say, yes, we are not getting good proposal. We are not getting good students also. The problem. They say this openly. My friends used to call me from Hyderabad, Bangalore and places, please Narayana Murthy, good students went to me here. I say that our students are very poor. They say that can they do the SPSS EV work? That is enough for them. Even for that, they are not getting people. Right? Can get funding from different. Many publications get. If your good proposal is good enough, first objective is one paper, second objective, second paper, third objective, third paper, fourth objective, fourth paper, four papers were PhD. Thank you. You got your job also. 4 good papers, 2 good papers, job is guaranteed. Tell me, I tell this openly in offline lectures. If anyone has a paper in a good quality journal, Economic and Political Weekly, and with PhD, come to me, I will give a job immediately. I will make arrangements to provide a job to you immediately. I'm saying this openly. Come with good papers, right? So the time is running out. Now I'll go to the last one. This is the last slide. Can anyone read this one? This is in small size. This is the crux of the research. Can anyone read this? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Visible, sir.
I have no special talents. This is who said, Albert Einstein. We changed the entire science. You just go and read Albert Einstein history, the inventions that he has made. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. I started with this, I am passionately curious. I want to do this. I can compromise on food. I can compromise on my friends. But what come may, I will complete this. And then I go. This is what curiosity is. So this is what I wanted to tell you. If you have any question, you can ask me. Or if the organizers closes it immediately, you write to me, I will reply to you. Or you can call me also anytime from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock, right? Thank you very much. If you need any data related to agriculture, water, come to me. If you need any literature on my area, come to me. If I don't have, I will connect with someone who is really good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I feel honored and privileged to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. I may like to express our sincere thanks to Professor A. Narayana Murthy, sir, Professor at the Head, Department of Economics and Rural Development at Alpha University, for giving an excellent coverage to writing research project proposal, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you all faculty members and thank you all participants. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. No questions?
Dear participants.
Professor, I have one question.
Please.
Sir, very nice presentation. I am Dr. Muthuswamy, Professor and Deputy Department of IB, Alpha University.
Nice, listening to you, sir.
Professor, how to find out a farmer's income?
Farmer's income, we have 3 sources. One is rent. 2 sources are there. One is situation assessment survey. One is 2003-4. Another one is situation assessment survey 12, 13. We both are published by National Sample Survey Organization. You please visit nsso.gov.in. You will get these two survey. Very recently, NABARD also published another survey called NABIS, NABARD Rural Financial Inclusion Survey 2017. There also you'll get some data on farm income.
Okay, Professor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good evening. This is Ramakrishnan from Mangalore. Sir, your session was very informative. And I have a doubt on methods of finding research gaps. See, I read papers, I speak to people, but I'm not able to formulate research gaps. Some methods for finding research gaps.
No.
And the other part is you were so impressive on getting papers. Some techniques for getting the best papers also.
That I will be speaking tomorrow about the publication of papers. I will be speaking about tomorrow. See, this research gap, there is no technique. It will come automatically. Once you start reading more and more good papers, you will come to know. See, for instance, Dhawan has done this. When you read Dhawan paper, you will come to know Dhawan has estimated this. And if you go and read Ashok Gulati, you will come to know Ashok Gulati has done what and all. And then if you read and, maybe Guhan, you will come to know what Guhan has done. And then if you go and see Migirsha, then you will come to know what Migirsha has done. And you will come to know what is not done so far. Right? That is what research gap. There is no method actually.
Okay.
I'll tell you, if you want to become a good researcher, read. I do that. I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
That will give you everything. Like, I'll tell you one example I forgot to give. It's like a pedaling cycle. When you pedal a cycle, you may have fall down. Initially, when we were 4 years old, 3 years old, what happened? Has it happened to you or not? I used to fall down 3-4 times in a day, but we never left. We tried, and finally we started pedaling cycle. In those days, 3 years, 4 years old when we were, right? Similar way, read and read and read and read and read all literature. Automatically, you'll have a knowledge. You'll come to know that. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Dear participants, if you need any clarification, please.
I asked about this, the game theorist thesis. This, I forgot to tell. I thought you will have a discussion, and therefore I thought this, John Nash. This fellow is a John Nash. He is a mathematician turned economist. He got a Nobel Prize. His thesis size was 18 pages. He is the father of game theory. Okay. So people think that 300 pages, 400 pages thesis means good thesis. No. And this fellow, based on this fellow own life, a movie was taken. That movie, Hollywood movie, that is called The Beautiful Mind. That Beautiful Mind got the first 5 Oscar awards. Right? And thesis size is 18 pages. You just Google it, you may get it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, sir.